In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a $36 wedding floral package using fresh flowers from Costco. Today, we are going to create a simple DIY bridal bouquet for $16, 4 bridesmaids bouquets for $4 each, and 4 boutonnières for $1 each, all for a grand total of $36. I'm going to start with 12 roses, 5 stems of spray roses, and about 1/4 of a package of baby's breath cut into smaller pieces. First, take 3 of the roses and then use a layer of baby's breath around, almost like a circle. Add 2 or 3 stems of the spray roses, again thinking of building this as a circle evenly around the edges and spreading out the colors. Continue adding more roses, turning the bouquet as you do that. I'm constantly turning the bouquet and looking at it from different angles to make sure that it's even and not flat on one side. After adding some more roses, continue turning, adding baby's breath around the edges. Adding some more roses. And more spray roses as well. Try to make sure that the spray roses are spread out in color so that if you have multiple stems of pink spray roses, they're not all on the same side of the bouquet. As you're building the bouquet and looking at the position of the different colors, it's okay to take flowers off, move them to the other side, add more, move them around. Sometimes you'll find that one rose or spray roses or even baby's breath are sticking up a little higher or lower than the other flowers. You can always pull them out or push them in a little bit to get the look that you want. At the end, I added some larger pieces of baby's breath around the outside edge to give the bouquet a little bit more fullness. It's really important to keep turning it and looking at it from all the different sides. If you have little chunks of baby's breath that stick out a little bit too far for your liking, you can just snip little pieces off to make it more even. When the bouquet is the shape that you like, decide how long you want the stems and trim them all off evenly. You can use rubber bands or floral tape to hold the bouquet together. For a larger bouquet like this, I usually start with some rubber bands to hold the bulk of it together and then cover that up with floral tape. When you put on the rubber bands, try to think about where you're going to put the ribbon on later so that the rubber bands will get covered up so that they're not too high or too low. If you can't stretch the rubber band around the whole bunch of the stems the second or third time, it's okay to wrap them around just part of the bottom of the stems as long as you can push that rubber band up higher. Sometimes in this process, I'm still turning the bouquet around, and if I see an empty spot, it's easy to just stick a little bit of baby's breath in there to fill up any holes. Now I'm going to cover it with floral tape. Stretch it a little bit. That will cover up the rubber band. That way, if your ribbon has holes or spaces, depending on the style that you pick, it's still green underneath. As long as you stretch the floral tape a little bit, it does stick to itself. For a larger bouquet like this, I'll probably cut off 2 to 3 feet of ribbon. You may want to do it ahead of time. Start wrapping the ribbon with the end pointing down a little bit to make sure that it's tucked in tight and you can cover it up as you continue to wrap the ribbon around. Leave enough space at the bottom that you can put the flower bouquet into some water until you're ready to use it. When you have the ribbon wrapped all the way around, fold the end under, and you can use long pins with a decoration on the end to hold it in place. And that's how you make a $16 bridal bouquet using Costco flowers. This bridal bouquet took me about 20 minutes to make, including prep time. Now let's do the bouquets for the bridesmaids. After using 12 roses for the bridal bouquet, I have 12 left to make 4 bridesmaids bouquets. I start with 3 roses and 1 stem of spray roses. I also cut some baby's breath into smaller pieces. I'm going to start with the spray roses in the center. Then I'm going to use a larger piece of baby's breath that almost wraps around the spray roses, making a layer around them. Then I'm going to add the 3 full-size roses, almost in a triangle shape. You can add as much or as little baby's breath around the edge of this small bouquet. Again, turning it and looking at it from all sides to make sure that it's even. When you're happy with how it looks, you can also trim off smaller pieces of baby's breath as you go to make the bouquet the shape that you like. When you like the shape, trim off the stems to your desired length. For this smaller bouquet, I didn't use rubber bands. Because the bouquet is overall much lighter than a bridal bouquet, the floral tape by itself is strong enough to hold it together. Again, if you stretch the floral tape, it sticks to itself enough to hold the entire bouquet together. I cut about a 1-foot piece of ribbon this time. Wrap it around the stems of the flowers, making sure that the end is covered. At the end of the ribbon, fold it under about 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and then use decorative pins to hold it down. Because the stems of this smaller bouquet are narrower, make sure when you press in the pins that they are pointing up or down so you don't poke yourself in the hand. Each bridesmaid's bouquet used 3 roses, 1 stem of spray roses, and as much or little baby's breath as you like. Each bridesmaid's bouquet cost about $4 to make. Each of these bridesmaids bouquets took about 10 minutes to make, including prep. Now I'm going to make 4 boutonnières for about $1 each. The key to this is save all your scraps. As you're building the bridal bouquet and the bridesmaids bouquets, each time you cut off extra leaves, unopened flower buds, broken flower buds, save all these pieces. You only need 2 to 3 small flowers or buds to make a boutonnière. First, I'm going to start with 1 small rose from the spray roses and an unopened bud that was connected to it. I'm going to take one of the larger rose leaves that I cut off earlier to put on the back of the boutonnière. Start with the leaf, a little spray of baby's breath, and then put the roses in the front. Move them around until you like how they look. You may want to add a second or a third leaf. You can pre-cut small pieces of the floral tape. Wrap the floral tape around so it's nice and tight. Remember, when you stretch the floral tape, it will stick to itself to hold the boutonnière together. I didn't use ribbon for this one because it would be too bulky. After cutting a 12-inch piece of twine, hold the ends together to find the center of the piece of twine. Start with that center that you found at the top of the stem of the boutonnière. Hold it in place and wrap one length of twine around from top to bottom. Hold at the bottom while you wrap the other length of twine from top to bottom. When you meet at the bottom, tie them in a knot. Be careful to wrap them in opposite directions so that you can tie them in a knot at the back of the stem of the boutonniere. This is how you can make 4 boutonnieres for about $1 each. Each boutonniere took about 5 minutes to make, including prep time. This entire collection of wedding flowers took an hour and a half to make and only costs $36 using flowers from Costco. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel and hit like on the video. If you have questions about making these bouquets, please leave a comment below and I would be more than happy to help. These wedding florals were made using 2 dozen roses from Costco, total cost was $16, 1 bunch of spray roses for $10, 1 bunch of baby's breath for $10. Other supplies include 1.5-inch ribbon, hemp twine, floral tape, rubber bands, decorative pins, and a pair of sharp scissors. All of these supplies can be found at Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, or Dollar Tree.